Now, because what I want to play for you is the first video. Crime rate, crime rate, crime rate. Another way of how we must fight the crime rate.
I want to ask you, though, about crime, because that seems to be, of all the issues, it's the one that the glittery object that Republicans are most intent on making the centerpiece of their closing argument here. We heard it a number of times in key Senate debates this evening. And yet, if you look at the statistics, and I don't know why this isn't on a mug somewhere as a fundraising tool, the top 5 states with the highest homicide mortality rates are all red states. Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Missouri, Arkansas. How are Democrats playing defense on this? How is this not a stat that is mentioned every single time Republicans want to talk about crime?
Trump tried it in 20. Goes back to the Willie Horton ad in 1988. They did it against Barack Obama. Trump tried it in 2020. Of course, they're doing here. And as you said in your opening, it's crime is the topic, but it's a proxy for race. There's a lot of racially coded language here. A lot of it's pretty explicitly racist. And so the way Democrats should handle this, and some campaigns like the Fetterman campaign have done this very well, is to take it on, to state what you are for, that you will stand, that you have fought crime in your previous job. You will fund responsible, accountable policing. And then what you do is you pivot, because the trap in all of these things is something President Obama used to say is you don't play their game, you call out their game. So now talk about why they are trying to use crime to scare you, to distract from their extremist agenda that wants to infringe on your personal freedoms, cut your Medicare, cut taxes for corporations. And so you have to take it on, state what you were for. Do not let them incorrectly and inaccurately frame Democrats as being soft on crime. Call them out. And in some states, as you point out, you can do that very aggressively against the Republicans who have overseen steep increases in crime over the last couple of years.
You know, Republicans are so, I'm talking about Republican politicians, not my Republican brothers and sisters. Republicans are so transparently projectional. In other words, everything that they project, generally, it's on them. They love to talk about election fraud. All the people that we've caught with election fraud right now, Republicans. They like to talk about crime and being hard on crime. All the states where we have proven that their policies are failures, because, again, the top 5 states with the highest murder rates, again, are Republican-run governments. And if you want to say, well, that is going to be in Democratic cities, it's not true. Because if you look at Oklahoma, which has a crime rate twice that of New York and much greater than California, what you find is that Oklahoma's 2 major cities, Tulsa and Oklahoma City, are governed by Republicans. So every way you cut it, Republicans are a failure on crime. The guns that they've unleashed on us, the murder, the mass murderers that are out there using guns that they refuse to take off the streets. When we had policies to prevent people from buying these AK-15s and all these weapons of war, when we had policy to protect against that, we didn't have this type of mass murdering. But again, you have to make the argument assertively. Republican politicians create crime. Republican politicians are the arbiters of crime. Republican politicians have no clue how to take care of crime, because all they want to do is unload guns made by their benefactors onto the market. And that is the message that you've got to put out there consistently. And when it comes to inflation, the Republican politicians and the neoliberals are the ones who created offshoring, who created just-in-time inventory, who ensured that we don't have that we don't have the policies to protect us against climate change. All those things can be directly attributable to Republican ideology and neoliberal orthodoxy. That is what we need to put out there as over and over again. Never allow the upper hand to be won by people who are nothing more than projectionists. We project who we are on you and then tell you that projection is ugly, that projection is bad. Remember that. Projectionists always project who they are, the evil they represent onto you, and then try to get you to defend who they are in you. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.